Hi, welcome back to MyFSY. This is another part of our tennis enhancement program, and I have to say that if you could just do one thing after you get off the court, to elevate your legs would greatly enhance your recovery. All you need is just a spot at a wall. You don't need these fancy wall robes. You don't need a fancy yoga mat. Just need clear wall space. If you were coming in the locker room or just in your living room or something, it might be nice to lay a towel down so you had a little more padding under your back. But just find the spot at the wall. Sit quite close to it. You can see right now, I've positioned myself so the outside of my right hip is close to the wall. The only hard thing about this pose is getting into it. You just lean back onto your elbows and swing the legs up the wall. You'll obviously be scattered, so you need to shimmy your torso to the left so that you're now lined up. Your torso, in other words, wants to be perpendicular to the surface of the wall. And so you just maybe take a look at your overall alignment, that your heels and your knees and your hips are equidistant from the wall. People ask me all the time too, well, is it important that my butt bones be touching the wall? That depends on your level of flexibility in the hamstrings. For some of you, you will be able to do that quite comfortably, like I am right now. It feels actually pretty good for my back to be all the way against the wall. But if you're tighter, then you'll need to be a few inches away. So just gauge that for yourself. Remember, the intention here is not to stretch the backs of the legs as much as it is to drain the legs. This is the basic pose. You can either lay your arms on the ground outside of your hips like so. My personal preference is to put the arms in a more field goal post type shape. Field goal, Garrett Hardley, Go Saints, that type shape. Some people like to think of this as arms like an Arizona cactus, but we're Saints fans here in New Orleans, so I'm going to say field goal, Garrett Hardley type shape. So here we go. You choose how you want your arms to be. And what should influence your decision would be their level of ease. Where do the arms feel most at ease? There's nothing to do in this pose. So don't feel like you need to be activating anything or stretching anything. You're just letting the wall support the weight of your legs. You're letting the ground support the weight of your whole torso and neck, head, shoulders and arms. And if you've been out on the court for a while, this should feel very relaxing and, no word I use a lot, refreshing. It should feel refreshing for the legs to be emptying themselves. Courtesy of gravity down into your core body. We recommend that you stay anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes just in this shape. I'll show you one variation just in case your legs start tingling or sometimes the feet will fall asleep. And this is a great variation in its own right. What you do is you slide your feet down the wall. You bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop apart. Same thing, how far away you are from the wall will be determined by the flexibility of your inner thigh muscles. So to make it more challenging, you would be all the way with your pelvis flush to the wall. And if you do that, and again bring the soles together, the knees apart, that'll be just a little bit more of a stretch for your inner thighs. We're not really trying to actively stretch the thighs. I'd rather this be a passive thigh stretch for you. So don't try to pull the feet. Certainly don't push your knees to the wall. Just keep the legs in this shape. Follow your breath. Enjoy your breath going all the way down to your belly. And while this could be feeling good enough for you to stay several minutes in this one, I'll show you one final variation, which is the legs out wide. In yoga parlance, they would call this Upavishta Konasana, the extended angle pose, or wide angle pose. The amount of angle is going to be determined again by your level of flexibility. Please don't feel like you need to force your legs low to the ground like mine seem to be doing. It's not a forcing thing. It's really more gravitational force. Gravitational force. Stay somewhat alert in your feet and legs so that the joints of your legs stay aligned. So if you can see right now, I'm lightly flexing the feet, just lightly. And I'm reaching out through my heels. But again, I'm just letting the wet legs' weight be supported by the wall. My torso, neck, head, shoulders, arms, all supported by the ground. Simple breath. You can do any one of those variations, or you can do each one just on their own. Right now, I'm going back to the first one, the regular legs up the wall pose. It's feeling a little bit better for my legs right now. But as always, the idea is really to practice some of these things on your own. My FSY is trying to get you to do some of the yoga practice on your own. And so, by all means, now that you've seen really where we're going and the possibilities, stay for as long as you need, enjoy your breath, and I guarantee you will feel like your batteries have been recharged. Your batteries have been recharged after your tennis match. Thanks so much. See you next time.